Planet Vero Studios, brought to you by Evergreen Media, creating cohesive marketing campaigns. Evergreen Media in Vero Beach.
Grit and Grace, featuring ambitious and inspirational small businesses in Indian River County, exploring their pursuit of success and how we can continue to help them thrive. And now your host, Sarah DePardo.
Hi, it's Sarah from Grit and Grace. We are here today to talk about small businesses in Indian River County that show their commitment, passion, and love for our community. We're highlighting their success, their journey, their, life, and what's going on with their locations. So today we have an amazing entrepreneur, and her name is Ashley Billet, and she is the owner of Rhythm and Soul, a dance studio here in town. So welcome, Ashley. So happy to have you today.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Yes, I've tried to get Ashley on the show before, but schedules didn't work because I also work at Rhythm and Soul once a week, and it is a wonderful studio. I really have been looking forward to share all about Ashley and the studio with you guys. So when did you open Rhythm and Soul?
So I opened Rhythm and Soul in November of 2019. So we're on our 4th year in business.
Very cool. So what made you, want to open your own place?
This was tough. I've been dancing since I was a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was watching Barney when I was 3, and I saw a ballerina, and my mom was like, "You want to sign up for dance lessons?" And I was like, "Yes, dance lessons."
Mm-hmm.
And I've been dancing ever since.
Yeah.
And I went to college for dance, and I was like, teaching and performing and trying to get a full-time performing job on top of a full-time work job. And I'm like, okay, this grind is just too much. And I found myself back in the studio with the kids, with the students. And I was like, I'm gonna own a studio one day. And I remember meeting my husband's parents for the first time, and they're like, "Well, what's your goal in life, or what do you want to do?" And I was like, "I'm gonna own a studio." And they were like, "Wow, that's pretty bold for fresh out of college." And I was like, "Nope, that's what I'm going to do." And I, graduated and started managing studios all over. And I just fell in love with being a part of the studio and leading a group of kids. And I just moved to Vero and opened my own place.
I love it.
Yeah.
So why did you decide to call it Rhythm and Soul, though?
That was a tough question. So I went back and forth trying to think of a name for hours.
Yes.
And it had to be perfect.
Right.
I'm a perfectionist, so
it's a one-shot deal.
I'm like, it has to be perfect. It has to flow, and it has to encompass, everything we offer, which is adults and kids.
Right.
So, I sat down and went back and forth with words and all this, all types of stuff. And there's a quote by Martha Graham: "Dance is the hidden language of the soul." And that really resonated with me. And I was like, you know what? I need to encompass the dance part, obviously.
Right.
But finding a word that was different from dance. And I was like, rhythm. It's really hard to spell, but rhythm, sounded
Amen.
really great. And it, because we do have Zumba and dance classes, it kind of, does everything that we do with rhythm and music.
Right.
And soul, the studio is such a huge part of my soul. So it kind of just blended together in Rhythm and Soul. And at first I was like, I don't know if I love it, but I love it, and it's me, and it's true to, who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So.
So when I saw the name, what I love hearing the stories behind the names of places because they're always neat and special. And so when I first read the name, I always kind of thought it might have been something to do with the rhythm of your heart, and you're putting your heart and soul into it. So I always kind of thought of it like that. But,
it's the same thing.
Because, being there and seeing you and watching you work and everything, you do put your heart and soul into it. You were there, every day.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah. So what does the studio look like?
So the studio, I have to say, it's just, I'm biased because it's mine, but it's beautiful.
It is.
So clean, and it's so well maintained. I have such an amazing staff that helps, keep it fresh and clean. And that's that's just a big part of how I want it to look.
Yes.
We have one huge studio space, and then we have 2 smaller spaces. And I think what sets us apart is our waiting area and our lobby area. We do have viewing windows for the classes, so the parents really love that, to be able to watch the classes, see their kids, and then we have a live stream of the class as well to watch. So that's kind of neat.
That's special.
Yeah, and it's really nice for the parents to be a part of the class and not have to feel like they have to drop off and they can't come in and
Right.
they can't watch. So I think that's a huge part of what makes our studio so special.
Yes. And I mean, the color scheme and the
Yeah.
way everything's laid out is beautiful. There's not, an excess of furniture. It's
Right.
just the right amount so that, people can sit and in between classes and stuff or
Mhm.
to watch, but it's not like,
Like too overwhelming
yes, a wall covered in chairs.
because my brain can't handle all of that. So I need
Right.
less is more.
Yes.
Especially in a space where you have kids
Yeah.
all the time.
And people have bags
Yes.
and bringing siblings
Yes.
and need
Oh,
space.
yes.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful. And on top of that, and like you said, with like it being clean and everything, I've
Mhm.
worked there for over a year now.
Yeah, I
like
think,
almost
yeah.
2 years.
Yeah, really? Yeah, I think almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh,
um,
that's crazy. Time goes by so fast.
Right. It's always clean.
Yeah.
I have never been there to teach where I walked in, I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
And same thing for the bathrooms,
Yeah.
which you have showers,
Yes,
which is
we do have a
very,
shower
very
too, which
rare.
is rare. Yeah.
I'm finding more
Yeah.
and more often with
It is.
studios in town. There's showers.
Yeah.
So I think that's phenomenal. And again, everything is super clean. You have options, hand sanitizer or
Yeah.
soap or whatever, but it smells nice too. It doesn't smell like a gym, and it doesn't
Well, I
smell.
didn't want it to
you know?
smell like kids' feet everywhere. Just because, like, there's like, like in the
It's true.
afternoon, we have so many kids there, and it's so easy to just
Yeah.
like smell like a shoe. And I'm like, I can't. I want it to be clean, especially with sicknesses going around and stuff. I'm like, this
Mhm.
has to be a clean place where the kids. I think, and the kids dance better when something's clean, or
Yeah.
they kind of,
Less distraction.
yeah, it's less distraction.
Yeah.
So,
You're lucky my boys don't go there.
oh my gosh,
right after
well, I
school,
can't. My son
'cause-
can't go there.
Wow.
My son cannot go there.
Wow.
He's banned. But my daughter, on the other hand, is obsessed.
My boys' feet,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
they smell
Jackson
awful after
can't.
school.
Yeah.
So
He needs to stay in his other activities.
yeah. So tell me about the different classes that you offer. You talked about kids and adults. So let's talk about the kids stuff. What kind of kids classes do you offer?
All right. So first we have our children's dance program. So we have 2 programs of dance. We have a recreational classes, that anybody can take just for fun.
Mhm.
1 class a week, 2 class a week, 3 class, as many classes as you want. And then we have a competitive dance team, which is the core of our dance program. So there are dance company girls, and they do attend competitions at 2 to 3 a year.
Okay.
And they represent, our dance studio, and they work really hard. I have to say this group of girls they've been with me since the beginning. Some of them I've been dancing with for, 6 years, and
Right.
they're the heart and soul of the program. So they're like my babies. But we do have both. We have recreational classes and competitive. Just depends on how involved you want to be in dance, just like
Right.
any other sport. And then we offer ballet, tap, jazz, contemporary, musical theater, creative movement for 3-year-olds, which is a super fun class. I teach that on Mondays. Hip hop, acro. I think we just have it all.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you said 3-year-olds. What's
Yes.
like the age range?
So we usually start at 3. I mean, 2.5, depending on
Right.
the child, obviously. 2.5, and then we go all the way up to 18.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a broad range of
That's awesome.
kids. Yeah.
And we joked about, our sons and their
Yeah.
stinky feet,
Yes.
but you do have boys that
Yes.
attend
Yes.
classes.
We
as
have
well.
5 boys in our hip hop class,
Very cool.
which they're like the shining star of that class. And at our winter show, they were doing their little breakdancing moves and their head spins and all their
Oh, wow.
coffee grinders. And they stole the whole show, of course. Obviously, they were so super cute. But we do have boys. Boys hip hop, they tend to take hip hop, but
Yeah.
they can definitely take ballet if they want to.
Mhm.
And I love that we're open to boys and girls,
Yeah.
and it's good for kids to try everything.
Yeah.
I keep telling my
I
son,
agree.
try everything. You try something, you don't like it, then you try something else.
Right.
Find out what your niche is,
Especially while you're
Yeah.
a kid.
especially while you're a kid.
And like you said, you have the recreational options. So it's not like you have to go in right away
Right.
committing to being a competitor. You can just come in and try out classes, which
Right.
brings me also to you have drop-in rates, right? For
Yes.
kids classes.
Yep.
And so people can just drop in and check it out. You don't have to
Yes.
commit to like a long-term anything right
Yeah.
away. So, and I love that because there's a lot of kids places where you come in and you have to pay for like a few sessions.
And you're
or-
committed.
Yeah, or like
Yeah.
a contract or something, and you're like, it deters people, I feel,
Right.
sometimes.
I agree. Yeah.
So, and then what about all of the adult classes?
So then we go to the adult side. So most of our adult classes are in the morning. In the afternoon is obviously the kids zone, as I call it. But in the mornings, we have yoga, Pilates, bar. You teach Peach Core and Pound, which everybody loves. And Zumba. Oh my goodness, we have so many things I can't even keep up. Pilates bar, yoga, and then a deep stretch class on Saturday, which is a fan favorite. Which is a 90-minute class. So we offer a little bit of everything for everybody, which
Right.
I think people really enjoy, and that's why they keep coming back.
Right.
It's kind of a one-stop shop for a parent and a child.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that don't realize that it's not just for kids, that you do offer adult classes too, because they just see the outside, or they hear
Right.
about kids being in the dance program, because you have a lot of kids in your program,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is wonderful.
which is great. Busy.
But I have always loved teaching there. Obviously, I've been there 2 years,
Yeah.
just about now, and you're actually the longest studio I have been with in
Aw.
town, actually.
Oh, that's so nice. I love it. And the
yeah.
ladies love you too.
Yeah,
And we
they're
have such a
adorable.
great group
Yes.
it's just such a great community.
Yes.
Everybody's like family,
Mhm.
you know, and it's
And welcoming.
yeah,
to
and
new
welcoming.
people.
Everybody's just non-judgment. It's just
Mhm.
they're there to work out,
Yeah.
to make a friend,
Mhm.
and they like being there. So it makes me like being there and happy to go to work when people are happy and
Right.
you know.
And you've cultivated and created that
Yeah.
atmosphere for them, and
Yeah.
how you have designed the studio,
Mhm.
and how the classes are run, and the space and everything, and what you offer for equipment too, you know.
Yeah.
And that, I feel, has a lot to do with that as well. So we are going to head to a commercial break here in just a minute, and we are going to come back, and Ashley is going to explain to us the difference between gymnastics and dance, because I know for me, sometimes I get confused, okay, which one's which. So we're going to talk about a couple of the differences between the two. So see you guys in a few.
At Sunshine Furniture, our 35,000 square foot showroom is filled with the largest selection of in-stock coastal furniture on the Treasure Coast. Dining and bedroom sets, occasional tables, sofas, sleeper sofas, love seats, and chairs, including lots of slipcover styles from Universal, Four Seasons, and Capri. We also have a gallery of Tommy Bahama and Lexington furniture with styles designed for a relaxed approach to the finer things in life. Right now, we're having a summer sale with lots of great markdowns, including all pictures, lamps, and accessories half price. Sunshine Furniture, $12.95 US 1 in Vero Beach next to Planet Fitness. Family owned and operated since 1991. Don't forget to visit our outlet and closeout store directly across the street, and visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com.
Sunshine Furniture brightens up your day. Sunshine Furniture, the best in every way. Have a sunshine day.
ITEX, or International Trade Exchange, is the largest barter company in the world, with over 25,000 members offering goods and services. We're a marketing company that brings you new business in the way of trade, with over 200 local members enjoying the benefits of ITEX, like lawyers, doctors, plumbers, media, printing, and more.
Hi, this is Liz Bowler. Contact me and find out why barter through iTex has been smarter for over 30 years. 772-532-1881. Visit itex.com.
Who's got time to clean when you need it clean? Call Germ Wizards LLC using the most up-to-date equipment. Germ Wizards pays strict attention to detail. They make dust disappear. Whether you need your office to sparkle, your home to shine, or you want to give someone a great gift, hire the Germ Wizards. It's easy to get a quote online. There's even an online portal to discuss details directly with your cleaning professional. Visit GermWizardsLLC.com. Make dust disappear with Germ Wizards.
Hey everybody, we are back to Grit and Grace here with Ashley from Rhythm and Soul, and we're going to talk about the difference between gymnastics and dance. So let's hear it. What's a big difference
Okay.
between the two?
So I love both. You know, I love gymnastics and I
course.
love dance. But a huge difference of both activities is the hands. So when we have kids coming in from gymnastics, they're learning hands out as if you were to see like, you know, in the Olympics when they land something, their hands go out like this.
Right.
And then in ballet, our arms are turned in and our thumbs are down. So that's a big difference between both activities. And we always try to break those habits. If kids are coming from gymnastics, our arms are coming in, and then gymnastics tend to go out.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like you just said, you love both. And, you know, there's a lot of similar skills too.
Yes.
Like tumbling and, you know, so I feel like one can go with the other very, very well.
Yeah.
As far as like, you know, learning some things and tumbling and jumping and splits and stuff like that.
And it's super important to try both too, because in gymnastics, you're going to learn how to get that height up off the floor, especially working on the floors that they have is with that nice spring and bouncy floor. So when kids do come to dance, they're jumping, you know, up there, which is amazing to work with.
Yeah.
But I think it's so important to be able to do both types of skills and kind of blend them together, because when you're doing a floor routine in gymnastics, you're essentially dancing and throwing in your gymnastic skills. So they do work really well together. And then there's just a few things that are different, like the arms and the turns. But I love working with the gymnasts and, you know, Maximum Velocity, we tend to work with each other's kids. And it's awesome because dance helps their gymnasts and gymnasts come to get the ballet technique. So we definitely go hand in hand, which is nice.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So what about the turns though? How are the turns different?
So for turns for dance, we can turn in, but we usually turn out. And then gymnasts usually turn in. So that'll kind of goof up the gymnast a little bit.
Opposite.
Yes, it's like opposite. Yeah. So we're like, oh, okay, no, go the other way. But it's so good to do both. And I really like our students to do other activities, you know, do the sports. It just makes you such a well-rounded student, you know, and kid. So I think it's important to do it all.
Yeah. No, I fully agree.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to come into Rhythm and Soul and take a class as an adult or a kid, you know, what would I do when I walk in the door?
So when you walk in the door, you're going to be greeted by myself, usually my daughter, who's 20 months old. She's at the front desk all the time. She loves checking people in, and she cleans. Maybe that's why the studio is so clean. But we will
takes out the trash really well.
She takes out the trash and she holds the garbage bags. But we'll check you in. You'll fill out a waiver. First class is free for adults or kids, which is nice. You try it. You know, no commitment needed. You'll fill out a waiver. We'll show you around, and then you take class. And I think that's really important, being able to try something first without having to fully commit to it. I know even for me, when I go take classes places and I want to try something new, it's nice to be able to be like, you get a free class, and it kind of feels like, you know, you're being taken care of right when you come in the door.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
So there's lots of gyms in town, and there's the other dance studios in town. There's, you know, gymnastics. There's, like I said, gyms, and I mean, there's so much stuff our wonderful town offers. What makes Rhythm and Soul like so different from everything else?
Yeah, this community is super small, but it's so supportive and so great. There's so many great places. There's great dance studios and gyms. But I think what sets us apart is our atmosphere. And it all stems back to my team and my staff. Because when you come in, you are so welcomed, and you're made to feel like you are just so loved there, like, and that you're important, and every single kid to us is important. Not one is better than the other. Everybody's treated the same. And I'm just all about that good energy and the good vibes that you put off is who you're going to attract. So even our dance moms, we have the best group of moms, and their kids are great. So it's like when you have great parents that are raising their kids, you're going to get great kids into your program. So I think the atmosphere and the type of people that are signing up, it's just really special that, you know, when they walk in the door, you're feeling welcomed. And you know, my team is so great. I couldn't do it without them. You guys are all rock stars.
Well, and one thing that I love about all of the instructors at your studio is we're all very open to suggestions from the clients, you know, and like, for instance, I teach Pound. Primarily I've done Peach Corps at Rhythm and Soul, and a lot of the girls were like, I want to try Pound, but I can never make it to a night class. Like, why can't we do it here? And so we did a little split class.
Yeah, and I'm like, let's just do it.
It's
I'm
fine,
like, we're here for you. I'm like, I'm all about making people happy. I mean, I am a people pleaser, which I'm working on this year. But like ultimately, like I'm here for you, like, and you're there for them.
Right.
So it's like if they're asking to try something different or this, that, the other, I'm always open to suggestions. And I think it's really important as a business owner to, listen.
Follow your pride.
And and listen to feedback and how can I be better? How can I improve? It's so important instead of just being very closed-minded and like, oh, nope, this is what it is. And that's it.
Everything's always changing, and being able to have that openness and like pivot with your clientele,
Exactly.
I think is super important because, keeping a class on the schedule just because it's always been on the schedule,
Right.
It
Doesn't work.
And 2 people come to it,
It doesn't work. You always have to be ready for change at any time.
And I think that's a lot of why your, almost said gym, studio is so special, is because you are always open to suggestions from them and changing things. And you can't always do everything that they want.
I always try my best. I always give, as much as I can to make things work and adapt and change, because life is always changing.
Exactly.
We're always changing. And if you're not changing, are you growing?
Yeah.
If you stay stuck in your same ways for however long, did you even really evolve or grow?
Right.
And, growth to me is super important. And that's what I'm trying to teach our students and even my own kids. Like, things change and we have to be able to adapt and grow as things change.
Exactly. So you're adapting, you're growing, you're changing, you're doing all these things for your studio. You put your heart and soul into it. You are also a mom and a wife, and you do all these things, and it's a lot. And so what do you do for self-care and mental health, girl?
Self-care and mental health is so important.
Yes.
Like when I saw this question, I was like, yes. So self-care, I am super big on massage. I have a massage therapist. Shout out to Michelle. She keeps my body running in tip-top shape. I go once a month. It's a non-negotiable. It's on my schedule and I don't move it.
I think we should have team field trip.
I know. Seriously, because we are constantly moving our bodies.
Yes.
And, when I'm teaching dance, like I'm on the floor, you're up, you're jumping, chasing kids. If my body's not running properly, I can't teach a great class. Fan. It's like, I'm like, can I write this off? But it's like, massage is super important, and stretching. I love getting facials. I love taking care of my skin. And for me, my workouts too. That's how I start my day. I wake up, I do a morning meditation. I work out by myself, which sometimes can be a little hard, getting motivated, but that's my only time for me. Yeah. Before I get the kids going and we're running and get to work, get to school, I have that time.
And you're doing something that's going to help you feel better mentally, emotionally. Plus, on top of that, you are, you work at a dance studio. So like you said, you do all of this movement up and downs. And if you're not taking care of yourself, not just with massage, but like you said, working out for yourself, because people tend to forget that just because I'm, like for me, like I'm a personal trainer. So I'm working and I'm showing people movements all day long. But if I can't sustainably do that, how am I going to show everybody all day long?
Right.
I
And
have
if
to
you're
have
hurt,
a higher,
you can't be hurt.
Endurance, basically. So I'm so glad that you do that for yourself. And what about mental health? Anything there special?
Yeah, and mental health.
Meditation, you said?
Meditation, and there's something about waking up in the morning and not going to your phone and being by yourself, even if you just go and sit and have a cup of coffee outside and just, take a moment by yourself and set your day off on a positive foot. So that to me is super important, taking that maybe 5 minutes, take it for yourself.
I love it.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad that you came on the show today.
Thank you.
So thankful. And for you, period, and what you do for your studio, for the community, for your staff. You are a wonderful, wonderful business owner in this town. And I want to also take a moment to thank Salt for giving us sessions for our guests here. So you and your hubby can go and have a little date.
Oh, so fun.
And check out Salt, a little relaxation with some halotherapy.
Nice.
And want to thank healthyandfitwithsarah.com for sponsoring the show. We're always taking sponsorships and donations, whether it's anonymous or you want to get your logo here on the screen. We are always welcome to it. So just give us a shout at Sarah DePardo on Instagram, or Grit and Grace and Vero on Instagram as well. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Hey.